Okay, today's tip of the day is that the crowd comes before the funding in crowdfunding, and it does so for a good reason. Crowdfunding, although sometimes when I'm in a launch and many of the creators that I've talked to sort of feel this when they're in a launch, it can feel a little bit like magic, but there's no magic to crowdfunding. It is more about momentum. And momentum comes from bringing out your own crowd to every launch that you do. If you launch and it's crickets, the platform probably isn't going to be able to help you that much. But if you are able to do a little bit of work to make sure that instead of crickets, you have some of the people that are already in your world that are coming to your campaign, you're going to find that your results get amplified. And there are a few reasons why a crowd is essential. Having at least an initial crowd is essential to success on Kickstarter. Data that Kickstarter's done, that BackerKit has done, et cetera, has shown that like projects that are considered larger projects, and I would consider anything in the 5-figure plus range to be a larger project. 5 figures make like automatically makes your comic project like a a top 25 project, and most of the projects that launch on Kickstarter actually don't raise less than 5 figures. But of the projects that do, about 90% of them are getting at least a third of the way towards that goal in just the first 48 hours. And what that means is that these are creators that are not leaving it up to chance or to Kickstarter to find their initial audience for them. They've already primed and prepared an audience and are driving them to that Kickstarter page. It's not complete strangers stumbling onto your page. A question that comes up sometimes is Kickstarter a discovery engine or not? Can you build a following on Kickstarter? And the answer is you absolutely can. Just about every creator that has launched and had a successful campaign has realized that, oh, wow, I have built my audience and I have added to my audience and I have expanded my audience based on launching and being visible on Kickstarter. I'm even finding that with this launch here, that there are people that have never backed a project for me before, names that I do not know that are supporting this current project. And that's been the case for every time I've launched a comic book project as well. But Kickstarter is not first and foremost a discovery engine. What it really is it's an amplifier for the audience that you have. So what size audience you have, by funneling them and channeling them towards your Kickstarter launch at the very beginning, that's going to amplify and magnetize your campaign and bring more people into it that are going to discover you there. But the truth is, trust from your audience is something that's going to be built, and you want to start building as early as possible, usually before the launch. Now, this new planner is going to help you with building your audience, building that crowd before you launch. One of the exercises that I teach inside of ComixLaunch Pro and that I wanted to make sure is built into the planner, and I think will be useful, especially for people that use a dedicated planner for each campaign as they go along, is there's a little platform audit worksheet in there. And what the platform audit does, it lets you take stock of what your current audience is right now before this launch. And it's always fun to see how your audience grows from the beginning of a launch and then where it will be before you launch the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And so that's something that I've included in the planner. There's also pre-launch pages, driving people to Kickstarter and getting them to click that "Hey, notify me on launch" button. That has become super, super powerful for launching and getting off to a great start. There's a pre-launch page design checklist in there, something relatively new that I've added so that you're optimizing your page in that way. But in order to sort of build and activate your crowd, you want to start this as early as possible. There's a saying, the longer the runway, the bigger the takeoff at launch. And so a big reason that we are always stressing building that launch before you need it, building that following before you need it. We stress email lists, and one of the signature programs inside of ComixLaunch Pro has been the list launch program, just to help creators build up a big engaged email list and let them know that something cool is coming far in advance of actually launching. Absolutely key. And then what this will also do inside the launch planner is there's campaign launch checklists that will help make sure that you're checking every box and that you are doing whatever you can to rally that launch crew and get them to come out. And so you're sending the emails before the campaign, when the campaign launches, and that you actually have a really great launch day. So another thing that you may want to do before you launch and also throughout the launch is to focus on building up your media, just availability towards media and making an outreach towards media and getting stuff out there. And so the planner has built-in tracking sheets and templates and things like that to help you just with that outreach. The most important thing to remember is that when you're launching, Kickstarter is the venue, but you are in charge of the guest list. I've been saying this for years, and I will continue to say this. If you build a guest list, if you invite them to come out there on day one, you're going to have a solid launch day, and that's also going to attract a lot more new people who are like the people that were already on the guest list. And that's how you grow from one launch to the next. So hope you keep this in mind when you are approaching your first or next launch. And again, the ComixLaunch Planner will help you make sure that you don't forget this tip of the day.
Prepare to launch in 3, 2, 1.